Good afternoon, fans. This is your girl from Mel'S Match Chat, and this is your official WWE Money in the Bank 2024 preview and predictions. How was everybody Saturday? I know I was supposed to go earlier on around 10 o'clock this morning. I wanted to sleep, and I also, I'm making a wonderful stew for my boyfriend and and I forgot to stir it, so you're going to have to indulge me. I forgot to fucking stir my stew. Hold on. That's better. Now I could go do this without having to worry about anything. So, um, today is Money in the Bank, and it's coming from the Scotiabank in Toronto, Canada. Um, we had an amazing SmackDown last night. We have new champions in the tag team division. More story progressed, and it's basically the culmination of tonight. So I'm wondering who is it going to be. I'm wondering who is the recipient of the Money in the Bank briefcases. And I'm wondering if could we see the original anti-diva show up back in WWE? Could we see AJ Lee? Who knows? But it's a great it would be a great situation to have her come back in, and she will be welcomed with open arms. Speaking of open arms, I want to thank everybody that has been subscribing and everything on my social media and everything like that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Please, while you're here, please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications, so when I go live, upload a video, or do a short, you will know about it. Please follow me on my social media, which is Facebook, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, X, Cameo, all Mel's Match Hat. I'm also on Snapchat and OnlyFans, and that is with the handle Real Mel's Match Chat. So go follow me all over there. If you want to donate to the podcast, go to my X account, scan the QR code, and donate as whatever you want. You can even leave a message, and I will read that message here. But please be very don't be too crass, okay? Please also check out the people over at Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Visit their website for all your beauty essentials. If you're trying to murder your thirst and you want the artillery to murder your thirst, please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. You got spring water, flavored seltzer water, iced tea, and sports packs where you can make any drink into a sports drink. So go check that out. They have righteous merch as well. Please, if you are a coffee aficionado like me, go check out Deathwish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. Visit their website, and you can sample the world's strongest coffee with the lowest acidic rate. Please, also, if you want, you could go check out their merchandise as well and the accessories for the coffee. If you support independent professional wrestling like I do, I love House of Glory. House of Glory is coming Friday, July 26th. High intensity. We have AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland taking on one of the founding fathers of House of Glory, Amazing Red. We also have a member of the Bloodline, Zilla Batu versus Mike Santana for the HOG World Heavyweight Championship. East Coast versus West Coast, Future Stars of Wrestling from Las Vegas versus the House of Glory Superstars, and they will be coming from Las Vegas August 17th. And it was just announced yesterday, September 5th, Chicago. You're getting a dose of HOG and it will be at the Logan Square Auditorium. So if you want to get all your tickets, get it at hotwrestling.net. And if you want to see it on TV, you can see it on the Thriller app. So let's get this started. I'm loving the stories of what's going on in WWE now. And yesterday, yesterday and Thursday, people were saying, "Oh, AEW's back." I'm going to make this abundantly clear. It's 1 week. We need to build. The word is build. All right. Let's just not throw matches. Let's build to them. That's the key. That's what's going to bring people back. You could see all these matches. I could legitimately see, if I wanted to, I could go into the archives of New Japan Pro Wrestling and see dream matches up the yes. But I need story. And it's not just story in the match. It needs to build up so I can get excited for that match. Like, I'm excited for the match with the Bloodline with Cody, Owens, and Orton. I'm excited about that. I'm wondering the outcome of that match. I am I don't even know what the match is. I have no idea. Hold on. I need the card for WWE Money in the Bank 2024.
Here's what I found.
I'm also looking forward to the match with Damian Priest and Seth Rollins, because a lot of this stuff is going to basically set you all up for SummerSlam. Because basically we have Bailey versus Nia Jax. We have Gunther versus either Damian Priest or Seth Rollins. So we'll already have 2 matches for coming out of Money in the Bank. So we're already going to be off to the races for SummerSlam next month. So we are going to get right into the go home shows. I'm going to give you my picks at the end of the go home shows. If you want to take a gander at any of the content after this, it's on the channel. You know what to do. Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw had the another qualifying match, the last one for the Money in the Bank. We had Zoe Starks versus Ivy Nile versus Dakota Kai. And then we had the men's. We had Drew McIntyre. We had Imperium Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus. We also had a women's championship match. We had Zelina Vega versus Liv Morgan. We had a singles match. We had Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio, WWE Hall of Famer. We had Karrion Kross versus Xavier Woods. The show opened up with a shot of Boston skyline as Michael Cole welcomes us. Cole then says there are nearly 14,000 fans in attendance. We then get a shot of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match participants arriving earlier in the day. Main event, Jey Uso then walks through the WWE Universe in the concourse area. Uso then looks into the camera and calls for his entrance theme music to be played. Uso then makes his way down to the ring through the crowd, and it was introduced by the ring announcer Samantha Irving. Uso then slaps hands with Michael Cole and Corey Graves, who's filling in for Pat McAfee. Now, Pat McAfee, if you're wondering, is on grievance leave. His father-in-law unexpectedly passed away. And again, my thoughts and prayers go out to him, his family, and it's a terrible situation. Seriously. So Jey Uso starts off by welcoming everybody to Raw. Then says, with the Money in Bank coming up on Saturday, he will be the one who will secure the briefcase and a contract for a future title shot. Chad Gable then music hits, and he makes his way out. Gable says that when you look up the word miracle in the dictionary, there will be a picture of him. Gable then says he has overcome a lot as of late, and he has overcome much adversity between being attacked by the Wyatt Six and losing his Alpha Academy family. Gable then insists that he is not scared of the Wyatt Six, and he says his family left him high and dry. Gable then says that the Wyatt Six should be after Jey, given that he abandoned his family. That makes absolutely no sense. I mean, that's just me. Jey then says he told the Wyatt Six they could have their fireflies, then calls Gable a manipulated scumbag. There's only one scumbag, Jey, and that's MJF. Sorry. Gimmick infringement. I got to call that out. Gable and Jey then begin brawling, and Jey hits a series of right hands on Gable. Jey follows up with a super kick and sets up for a Uso splash, but Gable rolls out of the ring before Jey could hit it. The lights go out, and the Wyatt Six music begins playing throughout the arena. Smoke then fills the ring, and Gable jumps over the barricade in an attempt to escape the Wyatt Six. In trying to do so, Gable comes face to face with Silhouette on the entrance ramp. Gable then runs into a second and third one. Gable then slowly retreats up the stairs of the TD Garden and then quickly quickens his pace. Nikki Cross then appears as a security guard is laid out at the top of the announce desk, and she hands Michael Cole another box. Michael Cole and Corey Graves then speaks at the desk while Cole removes another VHS tape from the box that Nikki Cross left him. Cole then says they will get the tape to the production truck while they try to focus on the show. Cole and Graves then run through the previously advertised matches. Singles match. And I'm liking how this whole thing is coming through, that Karrion Kross legitimately has a right to challenge for the championship. And I think it should be sometime later probably around October, if Gunther doesn't have it. So it was a singles match between Xavier Woods and Karrion Kross. The match starts off with Kross offering his hand to Woods. Woods then opts not to shake it and delivers some chops on Kross, but Kross responds with a suplex on Woods. Woods then low bridges Kross out of the ring, then nails Kross with a crossbody over the top rope to land on him. Kross then powerbombs Woods into the ring post. Woods and Kross then take turns nailing strikes on each other. Woods then delivers some right hands on Kross in the corner and follows it up with a thrust kick and an enziguri from the apron. Woods then climbs to the top and flies, but Kross nails him with a forearm in midair. Woods then rolls up Kross for a win. And I'm happy that these guys are giving back, because they could have easily said, no, we're not going to have him go over. and it would defeat the purpose, and Cross needs major wins to somehow get the taste out of people's mouth of what Vince McMahon, sorry, the old man, did to him. So then after the match, Akam and Razor blindside the New Day in the ring and beat them down. Akam then beats down Woods on the outside, and Kingston low bridge Razor out of the ring. Kingston then looks to fly, but Cross intercepts him with a cross hammer. Authors of Pain then sends Wood crashing into the barricade as Cross locks in an arm submission on Kingston while a smiling Scarlett was standing by. Cross then eventually releases the hold. Commentary then recaps Finn Balor and JD McDonough beating R-Truth and The Miz to win the World Tag Team titles with the help from Liv Morgan. We then head back to the back, and then we see WWE World Heavyweight Champion El Capitan, Damian Priest, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio outside the Judgment Day clubhouse. Priest tells Dominic that Rhea is enraged over his and Liv Morgan's relationship. Dominic then promises to do something about Morgan, and both men enter the Judgment Day clubhouse, only to find WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan inside. Morgan then leaves, and Finn gets into a dispute with Priest over Morgan. Priest then tells Balor that Morgan hanging out in the clubhouse has to stop. Balor then gets a defensive and says that she helped them win the tag team titles. Balor then takes issue with Priest, saying the Judgment Day needs him more than he needs the Judgment Day. Priest then says he has faith in himself and he knows he could beat Seth Rollins. Balor then says he will always have Priest's back and he will always tell him the truth. Balor then says the truth is that Priest has changed since he won the World Heavyweight Championship. No, Balor's gotten salty here. And there's going to be a huge rift in the Judgment Day. And I'm wondering where Rhea Ripley's going to be in this whole situation. So I cannot wait for her to come back from her injury and her honeymoon with Buddy Matthews. We get a tribute video to Sika Anoa'i, which is Roman Reigns' father. He had passed away last week. We head to the back where Zelina Vega is being interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Vega says everyone who has doubted her will see what a real champion looks like. Vega then makes her way down to the ring for her title match. And it was been noted since Vega's last title shot, which has been 14 months ago against Rhea Ripley at Backlash in Puerto Rico. Cole then recaps the footage of Wyatt's 6 segment with Chad Gable earlier in the show and says they will show the footage from the VHS tape later in the show. We get a highlighted Liv Morgan throwing out the first pitch at Boston Red Sox game over the weekend and then makes her way down to the ring. Sweetheart, we'll take Rhea Ripley here, right here in Yankee Stadium, and she can kill your ass just by that. So the match starts off with Morgan sending Vega into the mat. Vega then hits an arm drag on Morgan, but Morgan sends Vega crashing into the turnbuckle. Morgan and Vega then teeter on the rope, but Vega dials up for the 619 on Morgan's leg. Morgan then knocks Vega to the outside as Dominic Mysterio makes his way down to the ring. Vega then hits an arm drag on Morgan off the ring apron, then follows up with a Meteora. WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio then appears at the ringside to neutralize Dominic. Morgan then hits the tree of the Three Amigos on Vega. Morgan then locks in the Prism lock on Vega, but Vega escapes and sends Morgan crashing into the corner. Vega then hits a kick on Morgan's face, then follows up with a second one and hits a scissor kick. Vega then climbs to the top and hits a moonsault on Morgan, then goes for a pin, but Morgan kicks out. Morgan then hits a kick on Vega, then places her on the top rope. Vega then hits a sunset flip powerbomb on Morgan and looks to pin her, but Morgan rolls out of the ring before Vega can. Morgan then sends Vega back inside the ring, and Ray and Dominic get into each other's faces. Ray then nails Dominic, but Morgan hits a baseball slide on Ray. Vega then dials up for a 619 and hits a tornado DDT on Morgan. Vega then pins Morgan, but Morgan kicks out. Dominic then slides a chair to Vega to help her win, but Vega opts not to use it and hits Dominic with it. Morgan then takes advantage and hits an oblivion on Vega for the win. I cannot wait to get that fucking title back on Rhea. Honestly. Seriously. So then after the match, Morgan goes to the ringside to try to celebrate with Dominic, who stays a step ahead of Morgan while heading to the back. Kathy Kelly then comes out and speaks with Morgan on the stage and asks whether everything is going according to her revenge tour. Morgan says she feels like the luckiest girl in the world. Morgan then says the tour is going exactly as she planned it. Morgan then dedicates this win to her and her future wins to Dominic. And she is totally copying fucking Rhea Ripley. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. She can't even come up with her own stuff. They can't do that. I mean, come on. We get a video package on the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. McIntyre said he was screwed by CM Punk twice and sent back to the back of the line. McIntyre then says that anyone who gets between him and his goals will meet the same fate as CM Punk. McIntyre then says he will beat Sheamus and Ilya Dragunov and then go to Money in the Bank and win the contract. McIntyre says it will be his night and adds that he will be the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, Ilya is replacing Ludwig Kaiser because he's got a broken ribs. And I liked that they actually addressed this and they're not just poofing, he's gone, you know? Seth freaking Rollins was then shown backstage. In the background, Zoe Starks was talking with Sonya Deville. Shayna Baszler then enters and drags Stark away from Deville. Cole and Graves then hypes the WrestleMania Behind the Curtain documentary set to premiere on YouTube, which was on Wednesday night that I didn't get to see, and I can't wait to see it. And I'll give you my thoughts this Friday at 2 p.m. for episode 348. So Seth Rollins then makes his way down to the ring to address the WWE Universe. Seth Rollins starts off by welcoming the fans to Monday Night Rollins and introduces himself and points out confetti raining down from the ceiling. Rollins then says it's premature celebration for him dethroning Damian Priest as World Heavyweight Champion at Money in the Bank, and Boston is a championship city. Rollins then says he needs to win back the World Heavyweight Championship and he can't settle for the second best. Rollins says the same thing about him, is that he is the best when pressure is on. Finn Balor makes his way out. Balor demands the fans to say hello to one half of the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Balor then says he should be in a good mood, but he's not. Balor then says he's in a real bad mood because everything seems to be changing on Raw, including what it means to be in the Judgment Day and Damian Priest. Balor then blames Rollins for all the change, and Rollins... My tablet just crapped out on my notes. Hold on. So Balor blames Rollins for all the change, and Rollins tells Balor to be quiet. Rollins then says Priest is his own man. Then he says he thinks Balor is jealous of Priest because he's the world heavyweight champion and not him. Priest then comes out. Rollins says Priest and Balor are looking to trap him, but Priest denies that in that such case. Priest then says he came down because he doesn't need someone else handling his business. Then says that the issue between Rollins and him and Rollins just between them. Priest then tells Rollins that his days of running Raw are numbered. Rollins then says he and Priest don't have to wait till Saturday. Balor then looks to nail Rollins, but Rollins sees him coming. Balor then attacks Rollins, but Priest pulls Balor off of Rollins. Rollins then hits a double super kick on Priest and Balor, and then follows it up with a curb stomp on Balor. Priest then hits Rollins with the South of Heaven, then checks on Balor and helps him. Priest and Balor then leave the ring together. We then get a video on Imperium's Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser speaks about his goal of not just beating Sheamus, but to embarrass and humiliate him and then end him once and for all. So I'm liking, again, I like this stuff. It tells us what's going on, and it just doesn't give us, oh, he's probably, no, they're actually telling us and keeping us in the loop, and I love that. We then head to the back where Priest tells Balor that he's happy Balor is okay, but asks Balor to stay out of his match at Money in the Bank because he needs to do this on his own. Then we get the entrance for the next and final qualifying Money in the Bank for the women's, which is Dakota Kai, Ivy Nile, and Zoe Stark. The Raw person won, and I believe Dakota Kai should have gotten this, but what do I know? The match starts off with Kai blasting Niles. Stark then hits an enziguri on Kai, then follows it up with a baseball dropkick. Nile then hits Stark with a dropkick and follows it up with a kick on Kai. Kai then nails Nile with a running boot. Nile then hits a double bulldog on Kai and Stark off the middle rope. Nile then hits a couple of shoulder tackles on Kai and follows it up with a dropkick and a German suplex. Nile then hits Starks with a Hurricane Rana and a German suplex, then looks to hit a delayed vertical suplex on Kai. Starks then saves Kai, but Nile hits a double German suplex on both Kai and Stark. Kai then hits a scorpion kick on Stark before Stark nails Nile with a thrust kick and follows it up with a tornado DDT. Kai then hits Stark with a variation of a Canadian destroyer. Kairi Sane makes her way down to the ring and jumps on the apron, but Nile blasts her. WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Alba Fire and Isla Dawn appeared at ringside and attacked Sane and allowed Stark to hit a kick on Kai that knocks Nile off the apron and hits a Z360 on Kai for the win. And Zoe Starks is heading to Money in the Bank. We have, after the match, Michael Cole then sends it over to the tape from the Wyatt Six from earlier in the evening. On the VH Hits tape, Bo Dallas asks Uncle Howdy, how much longer are they going to do this? Uncle Howdy says Dallas if he thinks he's special, and Dallas says that implies others are not special. Dallas then says they are the ones everyone wanted to forget about and abandon, but they made them notice. Dallas then tells Uncle Howdy that they have become a family and says it's disgusting how false prophets are using family for their gain. Dallas then calls it's disgusting, and both he and Uncle Howdy say that they will set them free. Dallas and Howdy then say they made the Wyatt Six family. The tape then cuts and Uncle Howdy is gone. Bo Dallas then says he has set the Wyatt Six free, and the camera point pans out to see that Dallas and Uncle Howdy are talking in the Firefly Funhouse. So this is another level, and I am loving every minute of it. I am so happy that Bo Dallas is back. Taylor Rotunda. Now he just needs to get his ass in the ring and prove why he should be there. So we go to Otis. Otis was shown eating in catering area when Chad Gable sits down next to him and assumes that the new white video was directed at him. Gable says he needs help. Gable then says he knows the things were said he said were hurtful and that Otis hates him. Otis then says he doesn't hate Gable, but he won't help him. Otis says it's Gable's problem, not their problem. Gable then says Otis might not is right, but they can come after Akira Tozawa, Maxine Dupree, or him next. Gable then says he will be there for them if that happens, and then labels Otis as his number one guy. Tozawa and Dupree then show up. Dupree asks if everything is okay. Gable then says everything is great on the on commentary. Cole says he hopes Otis doesn't fall for it. We have a singles match. We have Dominic Mysterio versus WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. It's a rematch from WrestleMania 39. The match starts off with Dominic hitting Rey with a dropkick, but Rey responds with a Titus. Rey then hits a second one on Dominic on the outside off the apron. Dominic then wears Rey down and sends him crashing into the turnbuckles. Rey then hits a drop toe hold that sends Dominic crashing into the middle turnbuckle, then sends his head repeatedly bouncing off of it and climbs to the top. Rey then hits Dominic with a senton and a springboard crossbody before Liv Morgan appears at ringside to cheer on Dominic. Dominic then sends Rey to the mat, then locks in a Boston Crab. Rey then makes his way over to the bottom rope to break the hold. Dominic then hits the Three Amigos on Rey, but Rey avoids the third one and sends Dominic crashing into the ropes. Rey then dials up a 619, but Morgan pulls Dominic out of the ring. Rey then sends Dominic accidentally crashing into Morgan, straddling her. So for the fucking geeks out there, the no touch grass army, you were fucking pissed off and doing a Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. It should have been me. Get it out of your mind. She doesn't want you and she doesn't even know you're alive. But Morgan pulls Dominic out of the ring. Rey then sends Dominic accidentally crushing into Morgan, and Morgan gets in the Rey's face for ruining a moment between her and Dominic. Zelina Vega then blindside Morgan and attacks her, opening the door for Dominic to drop kick Rey into the ropes and deliver a 619. Dominic then climbs to the top, but Vega gets in his face. Vega then trips Morgan, and Morgan inadvertently trips Dominic off the top. Rey then dials up for a 619 on Dominic and follows up with a splash from the apron for the win. So then after the match, Morgan tries to apologize to Dominic as he asks her what she was doing. And she says, I'll have to fix this. I'll have to fix this. I'll have to fix this. The way you're going to fix it is leave him the fuck alone, bitch. We get a video package on the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. Sheamus talks about living in his dream by working in WWE and getting to beat up people. Sheamus then talks about the Money in the Bank qualifier and says Ilya Dragunov reminds him of himself 15 years ago. Sheamus then says he knows Drew McIntyre like the back of his hand. Sheamus then says he's still hungry and is putting on banger after banger. Sheamus then says he will take one step closer to becoming a world champion for the 5th time by winning the Money in the Bank qualifier match. WWE Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn then makes his way down to the ring to address the WWE Universe. Sami Zayn starts off by saying it feels good to walk back into the TD Garden as the Intercontinental Champion. Zayn then addresses his title defense against Braun Breaker at Money in the Bank and says he hears everyone saying that Breaker will run right through him. Zayn then says he gets why people are saying that, but confidently he says he will retain his title against Breaker. Breaker's music then hits and he makes his way down to the ring. Breaker says Zayn gained a little of his respect last week by coming to him and giving him a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. Breaker then says while Zayn has guts, he has no clue who he's dealing with. Breaker then says respect will be out the window at Money in the Bank, and he will break Zayn to defeat him as as champion. Zayn then asks Breaker if he knows how many guys have said that they will break him in half, and says he will put himself back together every time. Zayn then says his title is proof of such, and he wants Breaker to bring his best. Zayn then says he thinks Breaker hasn't done his homework, and he will see Breaker at Money in the Bank. Breaker then looks to leave the ring, but surprises Zayn with a spear. Breaker then makes his way up the ramp, but decides he wants to hit another spear on Zayn. Zayn then sees Breaker coming and sends him crashing into the ring steps. Zayn then sends Breaker's face bouncing off the announce desk, and hits him with an exploder back in the ring. Zayn then sets him up for a lubricant, but Breaker nails Zayn with a spear. Breaker then stands above Zayn holding the Intercontinental Championship. Now, we all know what that means. We all know what that means. You do not touch the title, because that tells us right then and there that he's not going to win the title. I wouldn't take the title off of Zayn, not in Toronto. I would actually have a fuck finish, and then Breaker gets another title shot at SummerSlam. And then you're going to take the title off, and then he's going to secure it and let him just go. We get a graphic touting that the Bloodline segment on SmackDown this past Friday have over 60 million views on WWE social media channels. That's a lot of fucking people. Holy shit. We then head to the back where Kathy Kelly is speaking with Damage Control. Kelly asks if Kai failing to qualify for Money in the Bank will change their preparation for Sky being in the match on Saturday. Kai says no, and they vent about people getting involved in their business. Lyra Valkyria then shows up and talks about how she will get the briefcase before Sky. Katana Chance and Katie Carter then showed up and brawled with Damage Control until Raw General Manager Adam Pearce and several officials tried to pull them apart. We get a highlights from Friday Night SmackDown of the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony that resulted Paul Heyman being put through a table and stretchered out of the arena. Cole and Graves then speak at the commentary desk, and Graves says Heyman is not a competitor and that Heyman is a 58-year-old manager that they have a lot of respect for. Graves then says that what the Bloodline did is uncalled for. Graves then says they will do their best to pass along the details about Heyman's condition, and he doesn't think we will see Heyman for some time. I think we're going to see him like right around now. I think it's going to be tonight. I think it's going to be tonight. I think Roman's going to come back and he's going to just go on a tear. And I think, or it could be right before SummerSlam, or even at SummerSlam. I would have him come back. They take the leg off of Sequoia. It's on the table. That all of a sudden, fucking Paul Heyman comes out, grabs it from the table, and then all of a sudden we hear Roman Reigns' music. He comes out. He goes and does his business, and then Paul Heyman anoints him again. That's how I'm going to see it. The crowd then chants, "We want Roman." Cole then hypes up Money in the Bank event, which starts at 7 p.m., 6:30, which is the kickoff show, and says the event will stream on Peacock. And they had a kickoff show yesterday. yesterday, which I haven't seen yet. Sorry, I've had things to do. So then Colin Graves goes through the lineup. We get a video package of the Mad Dragon Ilya Dragunov set for the main event tonight. He says he will win Money in the Bank or die trying. Then the lineup for next week, which is Jey Uso versus Chad Gable, and a 6-woman tag, which is Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, and Lyra Valkyria versus Damage Control. Main event time. The last Money in the Bank qualifier match. Drew McIntyre, Ilya Dragunov, and Drew McIntyre. So the match starts off with McIntyre and Sheamus getting into each other's face. Dragunov then sends McIntyre crashing out of the ring and then locks up with Sheamus. Sheamus then nails Dragunov with a clothesline, but Dragunov responds with a boot on Sheamus. Dragunov then delivers some chops on Sheamus before Sheamus hits an Irish Curse backbreaker on McIntyre. The action spills out of the ring and Dragunov hits an uppercut on Dragunov. McIntyre then sends Sheamus over the barricade, but Dragunov sends McIntyre crashing into the ring post and hits a kick to his head. Sheamus then hits a 10 beat to the Bataran on McIntyre. Dragunov then hits an Enziguri on McIntyre. McIntyre then responds with a couple of belly throws before Dragunov, and Sheamus take turns hitting strikes on each other. Dragunov then hits an Enziguri on Sheamus, then follows it up with a running knee. Dragunov then hits a drop kick on McIntyre, then climbs up the top and hits him with a senton. Dragunov then follows up with an H-bomb and goes for the pin, but McIntyre kicks out. Sheamus then sends Dragunov crashing into the barricade on the outside. Dragunov then hits a suplex on McIntyre and Sheamus. Dragunov then hits a Constantine special on Sheamus, but McIntyre sets up for a Claymore kick on Dragunov. Dragunov then sees McIntyre coming and hits him with an H-bomb, then looks to pin him. McIntyre then rolls out of the ring before Dragunov can. Dragunov then climbs to the top and looks to fly on Sheamus. Sheamus then interrupts him and with a knee in midair, then hits him with a bro kick and pins him. McIntyre then pulls Dragunov out of the ring to break the fall and sends him into the timekeeper's area. Then joins Sheamus in the ring. Both men then exchange strikes with each other, and Sheamus hits a body slam on McIntyre. Sheamus then hits a 10 beats of Bataran and sets up for a bro kick. McIntyre then counters with a roll-up, but Sheamus kicks out. McIntyre then hits a Claymore and on Sheamus for the win, and Drew McIntyre solidifies himself in Money in the Bank, and he will be there tonight. So then after the match, Kathy Kelly joins McIntyre in the ring. McIntyre says he promises to walk out Money in the Bank as World Heavyweight Champion, then puts CM Punk's bracelet on his wrist and kisses it before posing on the ropes as the show comes to a close. We're going to go to SmackDown, get you my picks, and then get you the hell out of here and enjoy the rest of Saturday. SmackDown. SmackDown was coming from the Scotiabank, where tonight's Money in the Bank PLE is. We had tag team match, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. We had the Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. We had A-Town Down Under versus DIY for the titles. We had the Bloodline. We had Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes will address the Bloodline. The show opened up with a shot of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, as Corey Graves and Wade Barrett welcome us. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes were all shown walking backstage. A photo of Paul Heyman being powerbombed through the table last week is shown. Main event, Jey Uso music hits, and he makes his way down to the ring. Jey Uso starts off by telling the fans of the city he is in their city. Uso then says he appreciates that Canada let him in. I guess they're starting to clear these things up so they can start traveling. Uso then asks the crowd if they want him to win Money in the Bank, and they yeet. LA Knight makes his way down. The fans chant LA Knight. He starts off by telling, "Let me talk to you." Knight then says he likes how Jey asked them if they wanted to see him win Money in the Bank. Knight then says something tells him Jey might be the odds-on favorite, considering that a year ago he was the odds-on favorite. Knight then says he has all the respect in the world for Jey because Jey was part of a goofy family, and now it's just him. Knight then says the way he will show Jey respect tomorrow is by showing him none at all. Knight then says, as much as Jey is used to hearing yeet, he will hear all of the Toronto say yeah, and the fans all said yeah. Knight and Uso then stare at each other. Carmelo Hayes then makes his way down to the ring. Hayes says that while he hates to be that guy, he is that guy. Hayes then says no one wants to hear yeet or yeah. Then Knight, how is he doing, and tells Jey that they have a lot in common. Chad Gable ends up going to the ring. Gable says that unlike everyone else competing in the Money in the Bank ladder match, he has been put through hell. Gable then tells the fans to have empathy for him and his Alpha Academy teammates, leaving him and the Wyatt Six haunting him. Andrade comes to the ring. Andrade says while everyone is dreaming of winning Money in the Bank, dreams don't win matches. Drew comes out and makes his way to the ring. McIntyre says CM Punk may not be here after the fans cheer for him, but his family will always be in the form of a bracelet he took from him. McIntyre then says the same violence he inflicted on Punk will happen to his opponents in the Money in the Bank ladder match. If they get in his way, he then takes jabs at Andrade, Gable, Hayes, Knight, and Jey. Andrade then attacks McIntyre and delivers some stomps that send him crashing out of the ring. Those two have history. You go back and you fucking watch TakeOver. Fucking awesome match. Hey, Alyssa, how you doing, sweetheart? I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hey, sis. Andrade attacks McIntyre and delivers some stomps that send him crashing out of the ring. Jey then hits a super kick on Hayes, and everyone begins brawling with each other. Jey and Knight then take turns hitting right hands on McIntyre and clotheslines him out of the ring. We head to the back where Jackie Redmond is interviewed WWE Women's Champion Bayley. Redmond asks Bayley what it takes to win Money in the Bank ladder match and the title. Bayley says you have to stay sharp and focused. Chelsea Green then shows up and tells Bayley that her advice is almost irrelevant as she is. Chelsea then says when she is Miss Money in the Bank, she will go after Bayley. Piper Niven then attacks Bayley from behind. Chelsea then tells Bayley the next time Piper attacks her, she'll come in with a contract and be the new WWE Women's Champion. No. Nope, not happening. We then see WWE Women's Champion Bayley walk out of SmackDown General Manager's Nick Aldis's office, and Naomi shows up. Bailey tells Naomi that she just spoke to Nick Aldis and she has a match against Piper Niven, a rematch of Clash at the Castle, Scotland. Tag team match, Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. The match starts off with Montez Ford and Elton Prince. Ford hits a couple of mat returns on Prince and Kit Wilson tags in. Ford then hits an arm drag on Wilson, then hits a second one on Prince and tags in Angelo Dawkins. Prince then tags back in and hits an uppercut on Dawkins. Dawkins then responds with a series of right hands and hits a back elbow on Wilson and nails him on the apron. Dawkins then hits a splash on Prince in the corner and follows up with an insecurity, but Wilson responds with a jawbreaker off the top rope from the apron. Prince then nails Dawkins with a clothesline and follows it up with a couple of more in the corner. Prince then hits an uppercut and looks to follow it up with a splash, but Dawkins avoids it. Wilson then tags in and delivers some rights and lefts hands on Dawkins. Prince and Ford then tags in and Ford hits a boot on Prince's midsection. Ford then delivers some right hands on Prince's spine and follows up with a clothesline and a flapjack on Wilson. Ford then hits a back spring suplex and a standing shooting star press on Prince. Ford then climbs to the top, but Prince nails him with an uppercut and tags in Wilson. Dawkins then makes the blind tag and Pretty Deadly hits an assistant superplex on Ford. Dawkins then flies off the top rope and pins Wilson, but Prince breaks the fall. Wilson is sent crashing into Prince on the apron, and Ford flies to land on Pretty Deadly. Ford then gets Wilson back in the ring, and Dawkins hits a spinebuster on him. Ford then tags back in and hits a frog splash for the win. So you think if Pretty Deadly was going to come back and then win, you're out of your mind. We head to the back where we see Grace and Waller getting ready for their tag team title match. And Austin Theory enters. Theory tells Grayson they have to be on the same page. Waller then tells Theory, and Theory lost focus and asks him how many titles has he won with Gargano. Waller then tells Theory that last year at WrestleMania he beat John Cena, and this year they became champions. Waller tells Theory that Gargano is desperate to get into his house. Theory appears to agree with him, and then they both continue warming up. We see clips from last week's episode where WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman was brutally attacked by the Bloodline. WWE Tag Team Match. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. This is going to put them in contention for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. The match starts off with Cargill hitting a thrust kick on Hartwell. LeRae then tags in and hits a step-up senton on Cargill. Hartwell then tags back in and mocks Cargill by hitting her signature pose, then continues wearing her down. Belair and LeRae then tag in, and Belair hits a delayed vertical suplex on LeRae. Belair then hits a shoulder on LeRae's midsection and delivers some right hands on her in the corner and hits a spinebuster on Hartwell. Belair then sends LeRae crashing on top of Hartwell and then hits a springboard moonsault on LeRae. Cargill then tags in and LeRae rolls her up. Cargill then kicks out and hits a pump kick then follows up with Jaded on LeRae for the win, and Belair hits a KOD on Hartwell. Do you think they were going to lose? No. Alyssa, hope Cody Rhodes doesn't get pinned tonight. Sick Solo, he's boring. I definitely agree with you. Definitely agree with you, girl. So then after the match, Kathy Kelly joins Cargill and Belair in the ring. Cargill and Belair put Alba Fire and Isla Dawn on notice and warns them they're coming for their tag team titles. Undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton go to the ring and address the Bloodline. Cody Rhodes starts off by asking Toronto what they want to talk about. Then says they could talk about WWE shows in Toronto between Thursday and Sunday. Rhodes then says that himself, Orton, and Owens are ready for the fight against the Bloodline, and Orton says that the fight will end in an RKO. Owens then says he could talk about the last 4 years of fighting the Bloodline, but says he would rather talk about the last 4 days of his life. Owens then recalls getting a phone call from his father on Monday morning informing him he had to go home to Quebec as his mother has been rushed to the hospital. Owens then says that he has been in Quebec at the hospital and his mother has been at since getting the call. While shows in Toronto are always special for him, his mother and father won't be able to come watch him at Money in the Bank. Owens then says he could have easily stayed in Quebec, but that would have been a problem for his mother because his mother and father have supported him throughout his wrestling career. Owens then says his mother would have been very upset and probably would have wanted to kick his ass. Said, yeah, I'm still here, motherfucker. Get your ass to work or your ass is grass. And you don't fuck with a mother. Trust me, I am one. Owens then says his mother would have been very upset if he missed the show for her. And win or lose or draw tomorrow, all we care about tomorrow is to beat down the Bloodline. Worse than ever before. Owens then drops the microphone and his music hits, with all 3 men standing tall. We get a video package for the tag team titles shown. We also get the entrance for the singles match between Piper Niven and Bayley at a return match at Clash of the Castle, Scotland. I want to say Scotland in a Scottish voice for all of a sudden, so don't sue me. The match starts out with Bayley wasting no time in hitting some right hands on Niven. Bayley then hits a few boots on Niven's midsection, but Niven nails Bayley. Bayley then slaps Niven, but Niven returns the favor and hits Bayley with a running senton. Bayley then hits a jawbreaker on Niven and follows up with a bulldog. Niven then sends Bayley crashing into the ring post head first. Tiffany Stratton makes her way down to ringside. Bayley looks to hit a rose plant on Niven. Niven then avoids it, and Bayley hits Niven with a neck breaker as we see Zoe Starks, Lyra Valkyria in the crowd. Naomi and Green then began brawling with each other on the outside, and Io Sky. Lyra, Valkyria, Zoe Starks, and Tiffany Stratton all become involved. Stratton then hits a moonsault on the outside out of the corner. Niven then looks to hit a Vader bomb on Bayley, but Bayley avoids it and hits a rose plant for the win. Did you think Bayley was going to lose? Absolutely not. So then after the match, Nia blindsides Bayley and hits her with a couple of leg drops. Jax then sets up for an annihilator, but Michin appears in the ring with a kendo stick in hand, forcing Jax to retreat. Bayley and Michin then stand tall. Main event time. WWE Tag Team Title Match. A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory versus DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Fucking great match. Great match. For a TV match, great fucking match. That starts off with Ciampa and Waller. Both men waste no time going after each other. Theory and Gargano then become involved, and all 4 men began brawling with each other. DIY then sends A-Town Down Under out of the ring and flies over the top rope to land on Theory and Waller. Gargano then hits a standing splash on Theory and delivers some right hands with him. Waller then tags in and climbs to the middle rope, then hits Gargano with an elbow drop. Waller then sends Gargano crashing into the turnbuckles, then tags in Theory. Theory then holds Gargano in place as Waller delivers some right hands on him. Theory then hits a stomp on Gargano, and Gloats then delivers some right hands on him and tags in Theory. Waller then sends Gargano out of the ring, and Theory looks to hit a running knee on Gargano on the outside. Gargano then moves out of the way, and Theory Theory is sent crashing into the barricade. Waller then looks to hit an Alabama slam on Gargano, but Gargano counters it. Theory then nails Gargano and gets him back in the ring, but Gargano rolls him up. Theory then kicks out Gargano, hits him with a Enziguri, and looks to tag in Ciampa. Waller then pulls Ciampa off the apron before Gargano can, opening the door for Theory to hit a shoulder breaker on Gargano. Gargano hits a double boot on Waller. Waller then looks to nail Gargano, but Gargano ducks out of the way, and Waller hits Theory. Ciampa then tags in, and DIY hit Shatter Machine on Waller. DIY then looked to follow it up with meeting in the middle, but Theory pulls Gargano out of the ring before DIY can. Theory then hits a rolling dropkick on Ciampa, and Waller follows it up with a blockbuster. Gargano then tags in and DIY hit their meeting in the middle finisher. Gargano then pins Waller, but Theory gets Waller's foot on the bottom rope to break the hold. Gargano then locks in the Gargano escape on Waller, and Waller looks to tap out. Then Theory then prevents Waller from doing so, but Ciampa locks in the Sicilian stretch on him. Waller then and Theory then both tap out. New tag team title champions. After the match, DIY celebrate the win and raise the tag team titles over their head as the pyro goes off. So that, I thought it was a little bit of, and I didn't like the way it ended because I wanted them to be the focal point as they went to black. I wish they would have swapped this segment, but what do I know? We then see Solo Sikoa holding the Ola Fala. He says that this makes him the tribal chief. No, it doesn't. Because the elders make you the tribal chief, Solo. I would actually like to see that. That would be very interesting. Sikoa then says this is what the family needs, and Roman Reigns was not man enough to defend their title and legacy at WrestleMania. So Sikoa then says Roman Reigns is no longer the tribal chief. Wait till he comes back, because he's the tribal chief now, and he's going to take back the undisputed WWE title from Cody Rhodes. Sikoa then says if Roman wants it back, he could try and take it from him. Sikoa then says he will show everyone that Money in the Bank that he is coming for Cody Rhodes. Sikoa then says Cody will acknowledge him, and SmackDown comes to a close. So that is that. So you're going to get my picks. For Money in the Bank. Men's Money in the Bank. We have Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is winning. Is he going to cash in? That is left to be seen. Who is women's Money in the Bank? Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoe Stark. Tiffany Stratton Tiffany Stratton, it's way too early. She could get another one. I'm going to go with Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, I would love to see her win it in Toronto. We have World Heavyweight Championship, Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. If Damian Priest loses, he has to leave Judgment Day. If Seth Rollins loses, he can no longer challenge for the title until Damian Priest loses it. I'm going to go with Damian Priest. Intercontinental Championship match, Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is going to retain. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa, and or Jacob Fatu. I'm actually going to go with Cody Rhodes' team. And then Randy Orton's going to turn. And that's going to be my predictions. So please join me. Either you'll watch out for my X account. You'll get the notification if I'm going to go live tonight or it's going to be tomorrow, definitely. So just look out for that. So I will also be back here next Friday, this coming Friday for episode 348 at 2 p.m. Please check out the rest of the content on here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, upload a video, or do a short, you will know about it. Check out the rest of the content on here as well. Please go and check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com, Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com, Deathwish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com, and go check out HOG House of Glory at hogwrestling.net. Follow me on all my social media, which is Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Cameo, and X, all Mel's Match Chat. I'm on OnlyFans and Snapchat, Real Mel's Match Chat. OnlyFans, now you have to pay. So it's $5. It's very simple and whatnot. Also, please, if you want to donate to the podcast, go check out my PayPal, scan it, leave a message, and I will shout you out here. Enjoy Money in the Bank. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will be back here either tonight or tomorrow with the review and for episode 248, which will be on Friday at 2 p.m. I love you all. You have a great rest of your day, and I will see you very, very soon. Love you all. Bye.